The New York Rangers front office definitely needs to be active this offseason, making some moves to try and make this team better than it was last season to really give this team a good chance at possibly winning a Stanley Cup. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at a very good target in free agency that could be a great fit on this Rangers team, and that is Matt Duchene. He has the ability to play center and right wing, which is very nice. That could possibly be a need for the Rangers. Maybe Chytil plays in the wing there, so a guy like Matt Duchene can be that third line center, or you could have a guy like Chytil as your third line center, and then have a guy like Matt Duchene possibly play alongside guys like Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider on that right wing spot. So let's take a look at that in today's video and what this could mean for the Rangers if they were able to sign Matt Duchene, and also what a possible contract could look like for him as well. Starting off here, the Rangers do have $11.6 million in cap space, with 3 restricted free agents still needing to be re-signed. There's not going to be a whole lot of money left, but since he is getting up there in age, he very well might take a shorter term deal with a kind of a lower cap hit to possibly help this team win a Stanley Cup, as he has yet to do so in his NHL career. Taking a look, though, this is a player who was recently bought out of his contract last offseason by the Nashville Predators. He ended up having last season in 2022-2023, 56 points in 71 games played, then gets bought out last offseason by the Preds there. He ends up having 3 years left on that deal with an $8 million cap hit. I was kind of surprised that he got bought out there because I thought he was still a pretty good player. Obviously, they wanted to buy him out, ended up signing Ryan O'Reilly to kind of fill that spot there, which for them is an all right move, but Matt Duchene is still a very, very talented player, ended up having a phenomenal season this year, and I still think would be a perfect addition into this New York Rangers top 6, and is truly at that level still. He's a top line, top 6 caliber player, even though he is, 33, turning 34. He's still a very good player. And last offseason, after being bought out by the Predators, he ended up signing a 1-year deal with a $3 million cap hit with the Dallas Stars, which I thought was an absolute steal. He obviously showed that, having a phenomenal season, which I think was just a perfect deal for that team. Being able to get a top 6, top line caliber guy like Matt Duchene for $3 million on a 1-year deal is just great value for that team, and I definitely think he showed that last season. And this free agency is quite good. There's a lot of really great forwards. It's kind of lacking a bit on the defensive side of things there, but forward-wise, it is a very good free agent class, and Matt Duchene is definitely one of the top forwards available, especially with the fact that he can play center and right wing. I think that provides a lot of good value, having that versatility. So he's going to be a pretty hot commodity on the market, but there are quite a few good forwards, so I don't think he's going to be, anything too crazy, value-wise this offseason, but he definitely is going to get a pretty decent-sized pay raise from what he had last season. Taking a look, though, he is a pretty good playoff performer. We'll take a look at the stats later on, but overall, a very solid playoff performer. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, he has still yet to win a Stanley Cup, and I think he might be able to, possibly take a bit of a shorter-term deal with a bit of a lower cap hit because he is getting up there in age. He has yet to win a Stanley Cup. Maybe he was willing to take a kind of a discount there, like a Blake Wheeler did, for example, last season for the Rangers. Maybe he's able to take, a decent-sized discount there, as he is getting bought out. He's still getting paid by the Predators. He's still going to make a good amount of money over his career. Obviously, he's already made a ton of money there. He's still getting paid from the Preds. I think could be willing to take maybe a bit of a discount to possibly help his team win a Stanley Cup wherever he ends up going to. And if that is the Rangers, that would definitely be a very good thing for this team. So now let's take a look here at what Matt Duchene could possibly bring to this New York Rangers team. He's not some, crazy big guy out there. He's 5'11", 195 pounds, fairly average size. He's not, extremely overly physical, for example. He's definitely not soft out there, but not some crazy hitter. He's not going to bring out a ton of grit or toughness to this lineup, but definitely not going to be a kind of weak guy out there. He does have pretty good speed, though, and that definitely is a need for this Rangers team. He's got pretty great speed. He's a pretty quick player, and going alongside guys like Kreider and Zibanejad could be a very nice fit as well. He's also a very, very good face-off guy as well on the draws. He is absolutely phenomenal at taking them. This past season ended up having a 56.5 face-off win percentage. The season before that, 52.9, then 54.1, 53.8, 56.1. I mean, you get it. He's an absolutely amazing face-off taker. And also, over his entire 15 years in the NHL, over 1,000 games played, he has a face-off win percentage of 53.5, which is just absolutely amazing. 3.5% over 50% is a great number to be at for face-offs. And I would say Matt Duchene is a bit better of a playmaker than he is a goal scorer, but I'm not trying to diminish his goal scoring ability either. He's a very good goal scorer, but also I would say a bit better of a playmaker. He's just an all-around great offensive threat. provide some good speed, some good overall offensive IQ. I think he'd just be a great player to add into this team offensively, possibly alongside, like I said, Kreider and Zibanejad, who he could be a very, very good fit alongside. He also creates a ton of great scoring chances offensively. He's also a very good offensive producer at even strength as well, which is a clear need for this New York Rangers team. Over his entire NHL career so far, he has 1,056 games played, while also having 605 points scored at even strength over his entire NHL career so far, for a points per game just at even strength alone of 0.57. That is a phenomenal number to be at. He's a very good producer at 5-on-5 at even strength, which definitely would boost his team a whole lot. Now let's take a look here at his overall offensive production. This past season ended up having, with the Dallas Stars, 80 games played, 65 points, 25 goals, 40 assists. Not too bad at all. Ended up having 19 of his 25 total goals scored, though, at even strength, which is definitely a very nice thing to see, as well as 30 out of his 40 assists. So like I said, a very good producer at even strength, which is definitely a need for this team. His last season with the Predators ended up having 71 games played, 22 goals, 34 assists for 56 total points. The season before that, back in 2021-2022, in his age 31-year-old season, ended up having the best season of his entire career offensively, having 78 games played, 43 goals, 43 assists for 86 total points. He was an absolute monster that season. Great on the power play, but also great at even strength as well. He's a very talented player. Even though he's getting up there in age, he has continued to show that he is still a great top 6, top line caliber player, even though he is getting a bit older for an NHL player. Taking a look now, though, at his playoff stats, though, which aren't too bad. This past season didn't have the best overall offensive production, although he did have his best team success in the playoffs, making all the way to the Western Conference Finals with the Dallas Stars, having 19 games played, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Definitely not amazing, but not completely terrible. Then the previous season with the Predators ended up having 4 games played, 4 points, and over his entire NHL career, his best offensive production in the playoffs per one playoff run was back in 2018-19 with the Columbus Blue Jackets in his age 28-year-old season, when he ended up having 10 games played in that playoff run, 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 total points. And over his entire NHL career in the playoffs, over 7 different playoff runs, he ended up having 51 games played, 12 goals, 19 assists for 31 total points. Not too bad there at all. He's been a pretty solid offensive producer in the playoffs, although he hasn't gone on a ton of great playoff runs. He's got a decent amount of playoff experience. 51 games played is not too bad. Decent offensive production with 31 points. He's an overall really solid player and definitely would be a really nice addition to this Rangers team. And now let's take a look here at what my prediction is for Matt Duchene's next contract. He's coming off of a 1-year deal with a $3 million cap hit. He's still getting paid from that buyout from the Nashville Predators. So I think somewhat of a fair deal if he's were to come to the Rangers, which he's obviously not going to be able to maybe get as much money as he could possibly from another team. But if he were to sign with the Rangers, my guess is something around a 2-year deal with a $5 million cap hit. Now, maybe he would sign for a little bit less, which I think would be a great value deal for the Rangers, but it all kind of depends on whether or not he'd be willing to take a slight discount. Because I don't think any team's offering him, $7-8 million per season, obviously, like he's made in the past. But I do think that there's definitely a team that probably out there that would be willing to offer him like a $6 million cap hit for a couple of years, maybe. So if there is a team out there like that, I'm sure he'd obviously have to take a bit of a discount to come to most contending teams who have a chance to win a Stanley Cup. Pretty much all of them aren't being able to really offer a guy like Matt Duchene, $6 million or even like high 5. So possibly a team like the Rangers wanted to come here, he'd probably have to take something around a 2-year deal with a $5 million cap hit. Now maybe he'd get offered a 3-year deal from the Rangers there, where he's looking at maybe like a 4.5, 4.25, maybe just kind of 3 years, $4 million per season, maybe possibly from the Rangers. If that were to happen, I would not be completely against that, but he's obviously is, turning 34 later on this season, so would you want to do that? That's kind of the question, but to get that cap hit down lower, you could possibly offer him a 3-year deal. Anyways, though, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. It helps the channel a ton. I would really appreciate it. If you are a Rangers fan, don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content, even throughout this entire offseason. I'll be posting every single day. And also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on what my kind of contract thoughts are on a potential deal if you were to sign with the Rangers. What are your thoughts on Matt Duchene as a whole? Do you want to see him come to this team? Do you want to see him go elsewhere? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.